Hey everybody, tonight we're going to make beef stroganoff, and we're going to be using this big pot to brown our meat in some canola oil. You don't want to stir it, and I can't stand not stirring it, but you need to just let it sit. I've cut a boneless chuck round into long slices. I've got my white onion cut up, and that's a whole white onion. And I've got a package of mushroom. And basically, I'm gonna sear in the oil first the meat and then put it aside in this bowl. Then I'm gonna take the onion and add to the drippings from the meat. And then I'm gonna get those taken care of and set aside. Then I'm gonna do the mushrooms. Then everything's gonna go back in this big pot. And I'm gonna add cream of mushroom soup, salt, pepper, some minced onion, and some garlic, and I'm going to let it cook for 1 hour. I'll let you know what everything looks like along the way, and I'll show you progress pictures and how it looks when it's done. So hope you are having a great day and are excited about this nice comfort food meal that's ready to be served over our no yolk egg noodles. And hopefully the kids will love it, and beef stroganoff is one of our favorites, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm in a place where I have in my large pot the last of the things that I needed to cook and brown in the drippings from the meat. So these are the mushrooms. I've kept them whole, and I've cooked them in what is left of the drippings from the beef and the onions. So now everything's cooked. It's all going back in. And this is when you season everything together and you cover it to cook for up to an hour. So I know a lot of you guys probably don't want to mess with cutting a piece of meat with all these, all the fat, and having to make the smaller portions that you need for this recipe. And if you don't want to do that, that is fine. You can just purchase in the grocery store at the butcher counter the beef tips, and it's the same exact thing. This just yields a ton more food. All right, so now I'm going to add a can of cream of mushroom. Actually, 2 cans go into this recipe. And I've got the low sodium. All right, the other one's going in. As long as I can get it to come out. Yeah, there you go. All right. Okay, so that's done. And now I'm going to salt and pepper. There's my salt. There's my ground pepper. I've got about a teaspoon of minced onion and a healthy teaspoon of garlic. So this is going to mix up together. And what you need to do is cut it with some beef stock or water in order to give it a little bit more liquid to work with so that it can simmer for that hour. This is going to be really, it smells good. I can actually smell this. I'm going to do about a cup of beef broth. Might even go ahead and do a little more. I'm only adding the beef broth as needed so that I can get it to the consistency that I want it to. And it'll have enough moisture so that when it cooks for that hour on low and simmers, it won't burn. Okay, it's almost a full box. There it is. That's what I wanted. To be able to have it move without being pasty. Okay, now what I'm going to do after the hour that this cooks is at the very end, I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to put this size sour cream directly in this pot, and it's going to change the color a little bit, and it's going to give it that creamy texture that's so yummy. But right now the key is breaking down that meat so it's nice and tender. and that takes a good bit of time. So check on it. If it needs more beef broth, go ahead and add a little bit more. If not, just stir it. And the next part of the process I'm going to show you is taking the noodles and getting them ready in salted water to cook so that we can plate the beef stroganoff on top of these and serve them up for dinner. Okay, y'all, we're at the point where this has cooked down for an hour. Everything looks good. I've stirred it a couple times to make sure it didn't get stuck to the bottom, and I've just scraped as I've gone. So this is what it looks like. It smells really good. So this is the color and the texture that you'll find with the onions, mushrooms, and beef. And now I'm going to add an entire 16 ounces of cream, sour cream. This is kind of what makes it. It gives it that really stout taste that has the flavor. Otherwise, it just kind of tastes like gravy. I'm going to stir it in. Cook it about another 10 or 20 minutes. Make sure it's folded in and see how it's changed the color a little bit. I'm going to taste it, see if it needs anything after this melts down. And once our noodles are cooked, we'll be ready to go. I'm going to hope that the hour that we've cooked this has been enough time for the meat to break down. So we'll taste it here, add salt and pepper as needed. We'll cook our noodles. I've got some green peas here cooking to go with our egg noodles, green peas, and I made the boys biscuits. This will be great. So we'll taste it here, and I'll let you know if I add anything to it when we plate it up, and we'll let it cook down to get that sour cream blended.